Good evening from Washington, D.C., and thank you to those of you joining us from around the world for news from a Catholic perspective. I'm Lauren Ashburn. Minnesota Senator Al Franken resigns amid allegations of sexual misconduct brought to light 3 weeks ago. Correspondent Jason Calvi was in the Senate chamber when the senator made the announcement. Good evening, Jason.
Good evening, Lauren. Senator Franken calls today the worst day of his political life. The Minnesota Democrat did not apologize and said little about the women making the claims that led to this resignation. He even pushed back, saying some of the allegations are simply not true.
Let me be clear. I may be resigning my seat, but I am not giving up my voice.
With 8 women now coming forward accusing Franken of sexual misconduct, the senator from Minnesota says he's stepping down. Yet he calls himself a champion for women.
I've earned a reputation as someone who respects the women I work alongside every day. I know there's been a very different picture of me painted over the last few weeks, but I know who I really am.
Franken joins a growing list of powerful men losing their jobs because of sexual harassment allegations.
These really are not apologies. They're excuses. They're rationalizations.
I asked Catholic scholar Mary Rice Hasson what's at the root of these scandals. She blames the sexual revolution.
So it corrupted the meaning of sex, and then it threw out objective morality. So there were no more constraints on people's behavior except what they wanted to do or what others would consent to. And so that's the sort of the matrix that we've been operating under.
Hasson says the public can learn from the Catholic Church and its teaching on human sexuality, and only then can people take responsibility for their sexual misdeeds.
The definition of conversion is you acknowledge your sins and you change your ways. Taking on yourself that sense of saying, I did something wrong, and what I did wrong was to offend my Creator, to offend God, to offend the way things are supposed to be.
On the floor, Senator Franken also slammed President Trump and GOP Senate candidate Roy Moore, both men accused of inappropriate allegations as well. Now, Minnesota's governor will appoint a temporary replacement for Franken, and one possibility is a former Planned Parenthood executive, the current lieutenant governor of the state of Minnesota, Tina Smith. A special election is planned for next year. Lauren?
Capitol Hill Correspondent Jason Calvi. Thank you, Jason.